Alright, what's up? Welcome to Team Dirty Decks. Today, I'm not doing a deck profile on somebody else. I actually won the tournament. I can't believe they actually let me win this thing. This guy just gave me the freebie behind the camera. No, I'm kidding.
Griefer.
Griefing. Alright, so today I played blue Ivankov, the best blue deck, hands down. I don't care what people say about Doflamingo. It's not as good as this deck. This is a deck that you play, you don't care about your hand because your effect is at the end of your turn, if you have no cards in hand, you draw 2 cards. So you just get more cards, I'll tell you how you play around that because 2 cards isn't very many. So this is what we're gonna do. Your turn 1, you're gonna play new common land if you have it in your hand. This is a field spell. You activate main, you tap it, and you can draw 1 card and then trash 1 card, and then you can trash up to 3 cards out of your hand. This will just help you fix your hand. And you don't wanna see more than 1 of these, so we only run 2. And then, on your turn 1, you want to see Buggy, because Buggy grabs you your win condition, which is the 7-drop Ivankov or the 6-drop Luffy, and then, worst case scenario, you grab one of the Impel Down packages. This just grabs any Impel Down person. This is a great searcher. Then on your 3-Dawn turn, you're going to go ahead and play this Doflamingo card, which is a blocker, but it also fixes the top 5 of your deck. If you look at the top 5 of your deck and you don't see your win condition in it, you just bottom all 5 of those cards. That is what this is for. It's just to help you filter your deck and then get through it, and also it is a blocker. This has a wonderful turn 1 curve, so you actually want to go first every single time. And then besides that, we just play 4 blocker law, and this is because you're doing a lot of filtering. You're constantly dropping cards, trashing cards out of your hand, and then oh, I see. And then this also will help fix your hand sometimes. Sometimes I have a 7-drop in my hand and a law, and I'll just play the law on my 8-Dawn turn if they maybe go second. And then you can just get that extra card out of your hand. And you usually need blockers because it's very hard to keep your life up once you get to the turns where you only have 2 cards in hand every single time. So that's why I play 4, just to make sure you see it. And then this is the 2 counter package. We are running the maximum amount of 2K counters that we can. I think I missed one. Yep, I missed one. Okay. This as well. So we are running this guy. You don't need to know what any of these do because you will never play any of these cards. You will literally only ever use them as counter power. You might play this Impel Down one if you don't have a Luffy in your hand. I'll show you that card in a second. If you play the 7-drop Ivankov and he is an Impel Down target that you can play off of him. But I've literally only played him once today. And that was just because I didn't have a 6-drop Luffy in my hand. Besides that, the Mihawk, Mr. 2, I don't even know how to pronounce her name because I never play her. But yeah, you literally just run these for 2K counters because you want to counter out of everything as when you're early in the game, because you want to be at 5 to 4 life by the time your 9-Dawn turn comes around. And then we just play 4 Vanilla Crocodile. He's just a 7K 5-drop. He's Impel Down also, so you can play him off the 7-drop Ivankov if it happens like that. But sometimes, your 1-Dawn turn, 3-Dawn turn, Doflamingo, and then 5-Dawn turn Crocodile. It just works out. But this is a way better target, Mr. 3. Mr. 3 is a 4-drop blocker, and at the end of your turn, you can trash a card to restand him. So he is pressure. You can swing with him, and then you trash a card out of your hand to restand him, and then he's still a blocker. He's really good, and it makes people want to clear him. Yeah. And then this is one of the best cards in the deck, actually. I really like Inazuma. He is a blocker that if you have 1 or less cards in your hand, he becomes a 7K. He gets +2. So it's really obnoxious when people are trying to swing at you and they have to play around this card, because even if you have 2 cards in hand, if you counter during the step, he gets that 2K counter afterwards. I mean the 2K power during that, because it is a permanent effect. So you can counter out of 9K swings and pretty easily. So Inazuma is really good, and it just makes people have to clear it. And then this is your win condition of the deck. This is the best card. This is the reason why you play Ivankov. It is the 7-drop Ivankov. This card is busted. It is 7-drop, 7K. On play, you draw until you have 3 cards, and then you play an Impel Down card afterwards. And what you want to see is you want this 6-drop Luffy in your hand as well. So basically, you're setting up your hand. The whole point of this deck is you're setting up your hand for on your 7-Dawn turn. You play this, and you have Luffy in your hand already. You draw until you have 3, play him. If they have anything that is a 4-cost or less that you want to get rid of, you ditch your last 2 cards that are in your hand, and then you bounce the 4-drop back to their hand. And this also happens on attack. So, and if you do the effect on attack, you also become a double attack. So you can threaten 2 life on Luffy as well. And that's like the whole point of the deck, is just getting this combo out. Whenever you see this combo, your opponent has to out this card. Like, they always out my 6-drop Luffy because they have to. This is such a threatening card. And that is why you also run so many blockers. Like, if you've already set up an Inazuma or the 1-drop like Law blocker, it just makes it even worse. Like, if you're swinging with it constantly and just blocking your Luffy. So like the whole point, basically the strategy of this deck is when you're early game, you just keep all of these cards in your hand. Like, you counter out of anything that comes at your life, you literally just counter out of it, because you want to be at 5 life, 4 life at your turn when you have 9 Dawn. And that makes it so that you're never at lethal, so then your opponent has a problem killing you later. Even though you only have 2 cards in hand all the time, it makes it so that it's still hard for them to like commit to a turn where they're like actually trying to go for game. And especially because getting around all of your blockers and then clearing your board is just a problem. And that's just kind of how you can whittle your opponent down. But of course, it's susceptible to RNG. You know, it's like at the end of the day, you are like filtering a lot and you're just hoping that you see this. But the way that I've set up this deck, I don't play any 9-drop Mihawks or anything, because if you see 9-drop Mihawk early, it just feels really bad. You have to trash it, and then it's just like sitting in your hand dead. So that's why I just made the deck as consistent as I can make it, where it's just like, oh, a bunch of 2Ks, you counter out everything until you see this, and then everything is set up to see this combo, like the 7-drop into the 6-drop. But yeah, that is the deck. And hopefully I keep winning with it. If I go to regional, I'll bring it and I'll see if it's actually, you know, like really good. And I'll see you in the next video.
Peace.